in an accident, one thing leads to another. Your injury leads to treatment. Treatment leads to hospital bills. Bills lead to debt. Debt leads to stress. The advocates can help relieve that stress. Having an advocate attorney on your side leads to faster resolutions, fair outcomes, and a peaceful recovery for you. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show live on... It's November 21st. I am so mind blown how fast this year has gone. Friday, November 21st, 2025. The Monty Show, as always, presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. You guys, slow down. I know a lot of people will be traveling this weekend. A lot of people will be getting in their cars and driving to different destinations across the country. Slow down. Take it easy. Be cautious. And if the worst happens, be ready. Call the advocates, because it's not your fault that Jake got into his straight pipe, catless rocket ship. It's not your fault that big rig made an illegal lane change. It's not your fault you got rear-ended. When the worst happens, be ready to call the best at theadvocates.com, where you get clear, risk-free advice 24/7, 365. The advocates know that accidents happen all the time. That's why they're ready to serve you. No chatbots, a real live injury attorney ready to help you 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. And it won't cost you a dime to get that clear risk-free advice. See, you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. And I ask you, as we go into the week of Thanksgiving, to think about your neighbors, check in on your neighbors. The holiday season a lot of times is difficult for people. And hey, you know what? If somebody's alone, maybe invite them to Thanksgiving dinner. What does that cost you? Right? Maybe say hello to somebody. Go and talk to your elderly neighbors and ask them if they're doing all right. Bring them a pumpkin pie. Bring them a smile. Say hello. It makes a huge difference in people's life. Just a simple, hey, how are you? Man, you know what, Jim? I haven't seen you in a while. How are things? Right? Like, be nice. Being kind to people is absolutely free. Jake, you look fat. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm fat, dude. No doubt about it. You know, I'm definitely poster child for first team all fat ass over here.
Fat?
I kid. We were semi-joking before the show. I said, you know, you lose weight. I've lost almost 50 pounds. And I lose weight, and I hate the way I look. I hate the way I look. It drives me.
Next question.
It drives me crazy. Oh, look, James is already insulting Jake.
Here's the problem, dude. This alleged insult is so old that I don't understand it.
It doesn't register because Jake is 13. Okay.
Yeah, so you're going to have to do better, dude.
Where are we at in society today?
The Lex says it's a puffer. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, there you go.
You know. Anyway, should they play Power of Love by Huey Lewis in the news to open the show? No, James.
Oh, what are you talking about, man?
What is wrong with you? Shake it like Jake 2 times. Hey, Monty and Jake. Hey, Monkey. Hey, Monkey. Good to see you, Monkey.
Monkey energy today.
Yeah, last show before Thanksgiving. Remember, we're off next week.
Yeah, good. I need a break from you hyenas. You know,
you need a break from me. So, I mean, you're not going to get that because we're spending the holidays together.
Yeah.
You know, it's what family does. We need a break from James, though.
Well, we're going to get it because he's got group, apparently. That's his excuse today. He just commented.
He's got here. Group. He was. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Can we all use AI to animate Monkey to read chat comments? You certainly can.
That's what
James, stop with the Back to the Future jokes. Nobody thinks they're funny. You know, James is here, but where's Dana? Of course, the question of the day.
In the trunk, dude.
Monty, it's not the conference as a whole. It's certain schools in the conference like Baylor, Iowa State, UCF, K-State, Kansas, West Virginia. Oh, wait. I'm telling you, the only people And this news today, and there's a lot of breaking news today that we need to get to. This Baylor news today, if this does, listen, the Big 12 had a good and a bad day. This right here, if we keeping it buck, we're ass right now. Did I get it right, Jake?
No.
Is that
you
how?
didn't.
Is that what
That's
the cool?
actually not the verbiage, dude. If we keeping it a buck right now, we ass.
We keeping a buck right now, we ass.
Then there's got to be a little twang on it. You know what I mean?
Family.
Okay, so if we're keeping it buck right now, we're not doing so
Right
good.
now, we ass.
That would be the James interpretation. Yes. Anyway. Okay. Yes. Precisely. That guy. Yeah. That guy.
Okay, so the Big 12 had a good and bad day. This is humiliating.
Yes, it is.
This is humiliating. Baylor making an announcement that Dave Aranda is going to return as football coach in 2026. Retaining our current roster and protecting a nationally ranked recruiting class are essential to our future success. Dave Aranda doesn't develop talent. Dave Aranda doesn't win games. Dave Aranda doesn't have a defense that defends. This is Baylor not having the balls to go out and hire a head coach. And I think it's twofold. I think Baylor is a poorly run university. It's as simple as that. I think when you have a disaster of an athletic director who now had to resign as a disgrace, when you have a president who can't lead and allows an athletic director to treat somebody like he treated, and I even hesitate to say his name, but when you have Mac Rhodes treating Mr. Trigg the way he treated him and an assistant coach, it's highly unacceptable. He should have been fired on the spot for cause. Did they do that? No. Dave Aranda should have been fired after last year. Did they do that? No. So let me get this right. You're going to have another losing season. And Dave Aranda is going to keep his job because you don't have an athletic director and you don't think you can compete with schools like Ole Miss, UCLA. Baylor's not a better job than UCLA? Oh, wait, that's right. No, it's not. Not right now, it's not.
I would contend it's not even close.
This is, you guys, these are facts now. I told you on the show yesterday, if Baylor's going to keep Dave Aranda, the Big 12 is never going to succeed because they're not trying to exceed those expectations. And it's what Dion always says, if you're going to succeed, you have to exceed. And they're not. They're not doing that. They are not doing that. And my biggest struggle is I do not believe ever under any circumstance that you can accept mediocrity. When you are competing, and I don't care if you're trying to make a good cup of coffee or you're trying to win a Big 12 football championship, you can never accept mediocrity. It's just not good enough. And it makes it so the next time something happens, you accept mediocrity much more easily, much more willingly. And that's who Baylor is. They're mediocre. They're happy with mediocrity. Their basketball program's mediocre and their football program's mediocre. What else do you need to know about an athletic department that accepts Dave Aranda as its head coach?
Yeah, and puts effort into graphics explaining why they didn't fire him. Because I think that's the most damning thing about this. You know, it wasn't good enough that you didn't fire him and that you retained him. You went a step further and felt the need to justify why you kept him, which tells me you know it's the wrong decision. And, you know, excuse me, now we're in a place where we, you know, we just don't have any other choice. You've given us nowhere to go. You've given us no way to say, oh, Baylor's
Where else
trying.
would we go?
Like, Baylor's really trying. No, they're not trying, dude. They've literally told us with the graphics package here that we have today that they're not trying. Here, let me point it out to you, dude. Hey, financial stewardship in an era of extreme volatility in college athletics with NIL, the transfer portal, rev share, and much more. This approach allows us to invest wisely in the program's future rather than incur significant buyout costs. Yeah, here's the problem with that, Slick. You're not investing in your program's future by keeping a shitty head coach who can't coach and is not a good talent developer. Sawyer Robertson be damned. You're an awful football program who's awful for a reason and who is irrelevant for a reason. And that's what today emphasizes, that you don't want to invest in your program at a level to where you're comfortable with Dave's buyout, because the truth is the elite programs don't care what the buyout is, whether you're LSU or whether you're, whoever you want to look at. They don't care. Penn State didn't care. LSU didn't care, but Baylor does care, which brings us right back around. Follow the yellow brick road to the Big 12 as a conference is not elite as it should be, because there are several schools in this conference who don't take it seriously and then want to try to lie to the public and lie to themselves about how, it's not a big deal. This allows us to. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Miss me with the we're trying, we're putting effort in. No, you're not, dude. You're not. You're not.
You're not.
And nobody's going to respect this move. Everybody just get on the old Twitter app that all of you presidents and officials have and look at the reaction, because I'm firmly in the belief that this is wrong and you just don't want to say, yeah, we can't afford the buyout, so we're not doing it at this time. You don't want to say that. So, until you're ready to say that, I can't take you seriously.
It's really disappointing because, again, I think I look at this university and I put only a small group of universities in the pot of we're doing everything we can do to win every rep in football. I think Texas Tech can say that. Houston can say that. West Virginia can say that. I think Utah, BYU can say that. I don't know that anybody else in this league can say that. I don't think. I look at, like, West Virginia is a very good example. Was Rich Rodriguez the right hire? I think he was. Was he the easy hire? Were there some people upset that he's back in Morgantown? Absolutely.
Yes.
But Rich Rodriguez instantly brought you credibility. Neil Brown never had that credibility. And you can see, even though they're not a good football team right now, they're competing every down. Look at Willie Fritz in Houston. That's a better football program. Now, is that Houston, BYU, and Utah? Certainly not. Those three are the elite three in this league, who every single minute of every single day of every single week and month and year are doing everything they can do to win every football game. Because that's what it takes in this business now. And I don't think most teams in this league have the balls to do it. I certainly do not. And it is incredibly disappointing to me that Baylor continues to be a blight on the face of the Big 12, because this conference is desperate for the state of Texas to be relevant. It's desperate for TCU. It's desperate for Baylor. It's desperate for Houston. It's desperate for Texas Tech. Yet I can tell you, I believe that there's only one elite program in the state of Texas right now in this league, and that is Texas Tech. And I think Houston's trying. I don't think under any circumstance would I sit here and say Baylor is doing everything they can do to win every football game. I don't think you can't even have that conversation.
Nope.
Can't even have that conversation.
Nope.
It's Baylor is a joke. You're a fraud. Stop trying to tell us that you're a great institution, and you're not. You're poorly led, you're poorly administered, and you have no value to this league outside of you're just a member like every other member.
Congratulations, but that's bullshit.
Because I expect Baylor to win at a high level in their sports. I don't expect that anymore. I don't. It's like expecting Kansas to be elite in football. I expect Kansas to win football games. I will never bitch and moan that Kansas isn't elite in football. That's a basketball school that's all in on basketball schooling. right?
Oh, and investing in their football program, clearly.
But again, I look at Iowa State. You want to talk about disappointing? You sat up there, Matt, and told us that your 3 best players took NIL pay cuts to come back and play in Ames. How did that work out for everybody in Stillwater? Because you lowered yourself.
I'm a man.
To Oak State. Congratulations, Matt. You're
listen,
Mike Gundy now.
Yeah, I mean, Oak State's a hockey school now. So, I mean, that's, that was established the other day. So, just saying. And I know that we have a lot of Iowa and Iowa State fans that watch this show. I hear you. I see your comments. I understand you're upset with what I've said about Matt Campbell. I'm just going to keep saying it over and over again. The guy is a huge disappointment this year. This year, my firm belief is when you sit on a dais and you say, I'm paying my players less so we can compete more, you're not competing at all. Well, hold on, Monty, but they're on this graphic here, right? Iowa State's on this graphic, right? Oh, no, Matt, what happened, dude? I thought your culture was going to carry you. I thought that, dudes taking pay cuts to come back was going to put you in the CFP. But somehow, some way, we're mistaken. It's November 21st at 2:17 Pacific, and you're not on the CFP graphic, dude.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, it's really, this league frustrates me a great deal because I think this league has real value in real brands and real football. You have multiple programs. If we look at potential, as much as I bitch about Notre Dame, I have no question in my mind and in my heart of hearts, I believe that Marcus Freeman does everything you need to do to win.
Do you believe?
That doesn't mean he does it the right way, but I think Marcus is putting everything he has into winning a national championship at Notre Dame. I believe that he's got the money, he's got the assets, the resources, the facilities, God and his son, Jesus Christ. He's got everything he needs, and he's doing everything he can do.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
I can't say that about Matt Campbell in Iowa State. I can't say that about Leitold in Kansas. I certainly am not going to say that about Kleiman and K-State. I am certainly not saying that about Baylor, Oak State. Like the list of not doing the job in this league, it's so frustrating because what I can do is I can go down the list, and I am more confident now that Kenny Dillingham can build a football powerhouse in Tempe than Baylor can in Waco. I am more confident now that BYU will be a perennial powerhouse in this league long before Iowa State is. And it's because you're just not doing it the right way. And when you don't do it the right way, you should pay a penalty for that. Yet Oak State didn't fire Mike Gundy until it was far too late. Baylor's not firing Dave Aranda.
UCF.
I was told today that Sonny Dykes is going to get at least another year at TCU. UCF hiring Scott Frost. Tell me you don't want to win. Tell me you don't want to win.
Because it's garbage.
It's a bad decision.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just really frustrating to me because Iowa State should be in my opinion, Iowa State should be the powerhouse football brand in the state of Iowa because Kirk Ferentz just is never going to be that guy, pal. He's not built for it.
Yeah, and you're running out of time because when he inevitably leaves that job, I'm sure somebody will jump all over it.
This league frustrates me. Iowa State has great fans. I talked about it last year sitting in the Salt Lake airport with all of the Iowa State fans. And it was a fantastic conversation, right? Like I will be so disappointed if TCU retains Sonny Dykes. I will be so disappointed.
Yeah, I know what time it is.
And this part of this conversation, and I think this is real. I think athletic directors and presidents are leery of getting into this coaching market because I think Like in Baylor's case, money should be no object, but it clearly is. They clearly have money problems in Waco, which is
How could they not?
Just mind-blowing to me, right? Mind-blowing to me. If TCU's got money problems, you should all fucking walk away because you're in Fort Worth, Texas. How can you have money problems? You have got money everywhere. You have an alumni base that is unbelievably well-heeled. And you're going to retain Sonny Dykes. And I think it's because you're too scared to go and compete for the best coaches in this. Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. You don't want to pay a premium price for a football coach. You don't want to go get Lane Kiffin. LSU, and we're going to talk about Lane Kiffin in a minute, but do you understand that LSU is going to put every penny available in that state into Lane Kiffin's bank account? That's because it's LSU, and nothing short of being a national powerhouse is good enough for those folks. You can suck all the brains out of the crawfish you want. If LSU loses that crawfish, excuse me, if we're counting a buck, we ass.
We keeping a buck right now. We ass.
God damn it. I'll never get it right. But my point is, the crawfish don't taste as crawfish when LSU loses.
Sucking a ding dong.
That's what I want in this league. I want people in this Big 12 to just not have a fun moment in their lives until the kickoff of next Saturday's game after a loss.
Keep it real.
But it's not like that. It's like, oh, man, that was a tough loss. All right, little buddy. Well, make sure you come on over tomorrow for the barbecue.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
It's okay you fumbled that punt. Go ahead and get yourself a bag of oranges over there. You know,
Parker.
if I remember right, I saw a fruit punch Capri Sun there, little buddy.
Tie.
It's maddening to me. And there's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for it.
Nope.
At all. Monty needs his own board. I'm not allowed to have drops. They don't give me drops.
Listen, dude.
This is all I get.
Bro,
I get that.
If you want drops,
I get that.
If you want drops,
hey, Jake, can I get some drops? Can I get some drops?
Listen.
Yeah, no, you can't. Yeah, I have crickets too. Where are they? Let me see. See, I have crickets
sounds
too.
are on here. Let's see. Let's see.
Little Galaga sound there for you. That's
Right.
all I get. I don't
Right.
get soundboards. Anyway. Jake, the Jake music for Monty, hilarious. He loves playing that sad music.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Which is fine. You know what? It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll live in pain. Fart drops. Who doesn't like a good fart drop?
Yeah, who doesn't like these kind of drops?
Jake drops are Stern-esque, Fred Norris-like, right? Yeah, all I want is the stay hard drop, right?
Yeah, I get it, bro. I get it, dude.
I got to stay hard.
Yeah.
That's all I get, right?
Yeah.
That's all I get. That's my new stay hard drop. That is
I'm
probably
unfamiliar with it.
Sounds like Monty on Zepbound. I actually don't have a lot of gas on Zepbound. Notre Dame, our mother, still a top 3, but Jake will never play Notre Dame drops because,
Notre Dame, our mother.
Old Monty likes the Notre Dame drops, and I don't get nice things.
Right.
So, it just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, Monty, are you saying technology frightens you at 50? No, it doesn't frighten me at all. I don't have the drops to upload them to the soundboard.
Yeah.
I have the exact same mixer Jake has. Mine's brand new. He won't upload the sound to it. Go ahead and log in on the internet, man. Nope, can't do that. The interwebs are not allowed. Capri Sun bending straws and spraying juice.
I'm not commenting on spraying juice.
As a UCF fan and a 40-year-old, the Scott Frost hire was a young alumni fan hire. And the momentum we had being young in the Big 12, we should have broke the bank and not hired off nostalgia. Truth. It's inexplicable that this league simply won't take a step out of mediocrity.
Nope. No chance. They won't do it.
And the hardest part is, like, K-State with Avery Johnson. Because I had this argument today. The question was something like, why is K-State? You said on your show that K-State's mediocre because they retained Avery Johnson instead of letting him portal. And I said, yeah, I don't remember saying that, but if you said I said it, it's a really good statement. You know. And the reason that is because he's never going to be elite at K-State. He just is not. And you look at his numbers this year, he's still completing only 60% of his passes. He's never going to be accurate, and he's never going to be lethal. And the very fact that he's somebody who is much more adept at running, he is truly a run-first quarterback, as he probably should be, and they don't let him run enough. It's the Bryce Underwood conundrum. He can't throw you to a win. Let him run. It's this whole argument. But yet you're allowing Avery Johnson to be 15 of 28 for 177 yards, a pick and a touchdown, and you almost lost to Oak State.
Yeah.
How did, like, that's the
I know
stuff.
that sounds like a crazy thing to say, right? But that's what happened.
And that's the perfect example. K-State fans wanted Will Howard gone so badly because the backup quarterback's always the star. And I've been trying to... It is what it is. And now we're going to see tomorrow K-State and Salt Lake City, and I just don't think that's a good matchup for K-State.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you'll probably beat Colorado because this is one of Colorado's least talented rosters, and they're frankly not very good. But K-State's the perfect example. You have every reason to win games, yet I just don't think you're well coached and you're not talented enough.
Yeah.
And now your best running back's in the portal, even though he's always hurt. So can you really be your best with, the cap sizzle. Avery Johnson is better than the old scam rising the Utes love so much. Well, what's that got to do with anything?
Yeah, what does that have to do with anything, dude?
Well, Joe Biden, Monty. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
sorry, we're not talking about Joe Biden or scam rising. Sorry.
What has one got to do with the other? Right? Tom Dean. Tom, good to see you, my friend. Monty, you mentioned you didn't expect Kansas football to compete since they're a basketball school. What do you think should be Kansas's goal? No, I don't. I'm not disappointed. I think Kansas, if you're going to have a football program, you need to compete to win the conference every year. But I don't expect Kansas to do that. When the stadium's done and all the money's in and everybody's okay. Honestly, and this is probably not the most popular thing, but my belief is you need to move on from Jalen Daniels. You need a new era of Kansas football.
Yeah, you need reliability there.
You need a new era. And it's hard for me. Iowa State's the best example in the league because I love that freaking program. I love Matt Campbell, but he just has done some things that he really pissed me off with that. My guys are taking a pay cut. I said it at the time. I think it's just a huge, huge problem. Scott Frost at UCF, you just know when they made that hire. It's like, well, all right, what are we buying him out for?
We'll see you guys in 5 years. Well, here. Oh, Scott Frost got hired at UCF. Here you go.
We keeping a book right now. We ass.
Yeah. Have a nice day, dude. We already know what it is.
It's frustrating to me. And
Brett Yormark's getting busy in the office signing monster to, deals with the conference, and you can't even get anybody better than Scott Frost. You can't, scratch a few pennies together to get Dave Aranda's ass run out of Waco. But yet the commissioner's office continues to put deals together with premier brands. That's what's annoying, is you actually have, in my opinion, the second best or the 1 and 1A best commissioner in college football operating, and you just can't put it together, bro. I mean, we had a meltdown on the show yesterday about BYU's worthiness in the CFP. And my biggest takeaway after talking about this today is, yeah, maybe your biggest problem isn't the shade that BYU gets. Maybe your biggest problem is you don't have enough teams, competing to actually get in. That's the problem,
which
dude.
Was my point.
Like,
this league right now, like Terry Mahajer, the athletic director at UCF, is killing BYU, right? Like this Dave Aranda is killing BYU. Matt Campbell, Leitold, like, you're killing BYU, Sonny Dykes. And you're killing Utah. You're killing Arizona State. You are holding back the teams that are trying their best. That's the issue with the league. Like, I don't know. I'm probably making too much of it now. It's fine. Random. Matt Campbell would be good at Penn State. Totally agree. Scam Rising would have obliterated the Big 12 last year if he was playing. Cam Rising's a phenomenal talent. He just could never stay healthy.
But he wasn't playing. So who cares, dude?
Yeah. Big 12's problem is lack of big money boosters. No. That's the worst part of it. Angry Phil.
No, you know what the Big 12's problem is? It's right here. It's right here.
Yes.
This bullet, financial stewardship. Yeah, financial stewardship into the ground, bro. Look at this. In an era of extreme volatility in college athletics with NIL, the transfer portal, rev share, and much more, this approach allows us to invest wisely in the program's future rather than incurring significant buyout costs during an unprecedented turnover of coaches across college football. So
Help me.
So wait, the logic by your assessment is, hey, it's really volatile out there. We're going to keep our costs low, and basically we're just going to hold. That's your logic. But at the same time, you're also saying by doing this, we can invest in the program. So you're willing to keep a shitty coach and staff because you think that shitty coach and staff are going to go invest in players to make you better? No. If that was the case, that would have happened already. Like, and again, not to point out the obvious, the clubhouse leader for, hey, why did Mac Rhodes get his ass run out of Waco? Is because he had an affair. Now, that's not factual, but that's what people think. That's the optics. And that's what's so crazy about this, dude, is
Linda Livingstone, who is the president at Baylor, just continues to not be a leader. It's certainly not in athletics. Certainly not. And I would also
point out, to your point, this is the easier thing to do. The easier thing to do would be, keep Dave, put out a statement. Who cares if people are mad? I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to do a national coaching search. I don't want to bring in a third party to help us go out and execute all the interviews. And because I can't have all these sweats running through my office, and it's going to stain the mahogany, dude. I can't have all them come. Like, no, dude, you're just not. I can't, bro. I have a lot of respect for, like, Houston might be the best example. I got a lot of respect for what Houston's trying to do. Right? You're Houston. You are not a football powerhouse. You are a basketball school trying to do your best in football. You're investing. You're doing everything that you can do in your power right now to go out and get talent and run a good program, and you're winning more games and people respect you.
Went and hired one of the best available coaches when you hired him. Like,
a lot of credit, dude. A lot of respect. But and you're not good, right? Or you're better, but you're not good. You're not CFP good, obviously, but you're somewhat competitive.
But you're definitely trending, right? I think we can all agree Houston's trending.
Yeah. So
right?
I just sit here and I look at these graphics today from that statement that Linda put out. And I'm just like, dude, like, if you really think that this is what's best for Baylor, you are up in the night. Like,
I don't know how. I think it's the easy. I think it's the easy job. It's the easy job, and I really want Linda Livingstone to understand that she's at Baylor and not Oklahoma State. I mean, and I understand. I'm sure every Baylor fan listening to this, she's trying to make. I totally get it, because it's all I ever hear about when I talk about Baylor. Oh, she went to Oak State. I wish she would act like her job was to make Baylor the best thing on the planet. And I just don't believe she's the right person for that. I really don't. The problem is a lack of big dollar brands. All of the big brands are now in the SEC and the Big Ten. Totally agree. How are we supposed to compete? I think it's very easy. Spend money. See, what college athletics cannot do if they want to survive is tread water. You cannot simply exist and then expect to survive. You have to do, and again, BYU is a great example of this. When they left the mountain and the Pac-12 said, you and your magic underpants in Sunday play, and did BYU just stop spending money and fold up the tent? And no, they went independent and they spent more money. And they made a great deal with ESPN that probably satiated some folks. But then, because you have phenomenal leadership, Tom Homo, Bronco, now Kalani, right? Like, because you have phenomenal men leading your program. What happens? You take off. And then somebody like Ryan Smith comes around. And all of a sudden, Kevin Young comes around. And AJ DeBanza. And DUI guy that I'm not guilty of guy. All of a sudden, you got a bunch of basketball players. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. All of a sudden, you've got the very best basketball players in the very best facility, in one of the best home court advantages. And your football program's winning. They're damn near at the top of the league for 2 straight years now. Your coaches are well paid. They're getting extensions. The fans are happy. They're buying merchandise. Did I mention that the league is better off because BYU's in it?
And no, they don't need to fill in the corner of the stadium.
And that's why today the Big 12 announced a new deal with Monster Energy, who is the official energy drink of the Big 12 championship events. So you just keep in this league having a commissioner who just keeps stacking money on top of money, so fucking Baylor can keep Dave Aranda, and Iowa State doesn't have to pay their players full share NIL.
So Brett Yormark is stacking money on top of money, only to have Baylor say that they can't afford to fire Dave Aranda. Like, how much of a peasant are you, dude? Like, how is
ridiculous?
How? Like, I don't like, I would love to be able to ask her. I would love to be able to ask Livingstone, hey, bro, did you keep Dave because you were intimidated by the coaching search?
Does Dave let you polish his Chrome Dome?
Yeah. Or do you and Dave go to the rectory on campus, and does he allow you to do such as in like said things? I mean, what's the deal? What
Grow
you
up.
can't tell me, I don't even know the guy's buyout. I mean, hell, let's look up his buyout. What's Dave
It
Aranda's
doesn't
buyout,
matter.
dude?
It's
It
the
does
cost
matter.
of doing business.
No, but
It's
here's
the
why it
cost of
matters.
doing business.
No, I know. I agree with you, but here's why it matters, dude. Because if the buyout is under $30 million, this is an egregious. Dude, his buyout is estimated at 15 to 20 mil. And you're telling me that I'm supposed to buy this crap about, hey, it's a volatile time.
Baylor is very well heeled.
And by the way, I just want to point out that number's from 2022, so it's less than that.
All I'm saying is, look at this situation. Let's get into Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. Gosh, what a comparison.
Lane Kiffin's going to coach the Egg Bowl. Ole Miss made an announcement today that through athletic director Keith Carter, that he had a meeting with the Chancellor Boyce today, Lane Kiffin and Keith Carter. Despite the outside noise, Coach Kiffin is focused on preparing our team for the Egg Bowl. And together, we want to ensure that our players and coaches can concentrate fully on next Friday's game. This team is on the cusp of an unprecedented season, and it's imperative they feel the support of the Ole Miss family in the week ahead. An announcement on Coach Kiffin's departure to LSU future is expected the Saturday following the game. It's exactly how you should handle it. Now, what's going on here? Well, Lane Kiffin's going to LSU.
Right.
I was told again today that it'll be north of $120 million in total compensation. And he's probably going to average north of $15 million a year in salary. And that Lane Kiffin's going to go to LSU. So let me get this right. LSU, family. LSU is going to break the bank for the coach that they've identified, who they believe can win the next national championship at LSU. He's the next guy. So are you saying that they were intentional, aggressive, and have all the resources that they needed to go and get the guy that they wanted to be their next football coach? That's exactly what I'm saying.
And LSU also allegedly told their staff today to formally send BK his termination letter. So you're willing to pay the buyout is what you're saying. In addition to coughing up that nice, large, big, beautiful Brinks truck for Lane.
And
it's a volatile time. I think that's the wrong decision for them. It's a volatile time.
Then you have to consider, well, what does that mean for Ole Miss? See, we're talking about a league where losing games is the end of the world. It's the end of the world. And again, I know that you guys think that he is Satan incarnate. And if you look at the things that Greg Sankey has said, is there ever been a more appropriate sentiment about coaching changes than what Greg Sankey said, 8 to 10 weeks ago?
The process of change is really exciting at the start. It's like running a marathon, which I've done a few times. Every time I've ever run a marathon, you can't sleep the night before. You're up early. You're at the start line. The start of anything is really exciting. And you go through that, and then you get to the end, and you see, running down Boylston in the Boston Marathon, or in Central Park in New York City, or crossing the river in Missoula, Montana to finish there. I mean, it's exciting, right? There's a finish line. The start and the finish is always invigorating, exciting, but the middle is messy, whether it's a marathon, whether it's decision making, whether it's change. And we are in the middle, and it's messy. That's not unique to college sports. That's not unique to higher education. That's not unique to American society.
That's called fucking leadership. That's what being a leader is about. Is it easy? No, it's not easy to fire Dave Aranda. That's a guy that we believed in. That's a guy we built a relationship with. But listen, here at Baylor, we're not going to accept anything but excellence. And frankly, Dave in the football program under Dave's mentorship has not been excellent. We expected better results, so we had to let Dave go today. You know, we fired Brian Kelly because it wasn't good enough. And today we're here to announce that we've hired Lane Kiffin. Because change is messy. That doesn't mean it's easy. In fact, that usually means it's not. But are you trying to win, or are you trying to just merely have a football team? Because Colorado doesn't hire Deion Sanders just to have a football team. Utah doesn't fire their entire offensive coaching staff just to have a football team. BYU doesn't fire the head coach's best friend as the defensive coordinator and hire Jay Hill because they just want to have a football team. Texas Tech doesn't spend millions and millions and millions of dollars just to have a football team. See, because it takes what it takes. And at BYU and Texas Tech and Utah and LSU, and we're soon to find out, Florida and Ole Miss, they're going to do what it takes to keep going forward. Right? So I think when you look at the way LSU goes about this, and nothing's done and we don't even have finality on it. But what I'm telling you is when your team is hiring a football coach or not hiring a football coach, it tells you everything you need to know about whether your money's being spent in the right way. Because I am telling you, even Notre Dame, I was really unhappy that we passed on Tommy Rees because I think Tommy Rees should have got that job. We went to the national championship last year. Was I happy with Marcus? No. Am I happy with Marcus? No. No, I think we lost 2 games this year because of Marcus. But I know all day Marcus is trying to win every single snap, rep, film session, all of it. I know that if you hire Lane Kiffin at LSU inside of 2 years, I think they will win the SEC inside of 2 years. And my guess is next year, if you hire him next year, they'll be in the CFP again. Because that's just what the expectation is. That's not the expectation in Waco, Texas at Baylor. That's not the expectation at Ames, Iowa, and Iowa State. It's not the expectation in Manhattan, Kansas for K-State. That's not the expectation in Stillwater. That's not the expectation in too many parts of this league. Nobody in this league outside of 3-4 athletic directors expects to go to the college football playoff. Can you really tell me? Can you really tell me the boys at the Bounce House thought this was going to be a college football playoff decade? I said decade. Because I don't think they thought it was. Did you see, what did I tell you about Trev Alberts at Texas A&M? What did I tell you? That's one of the best hires nobody will talk about. See, because Nebraska is just standing still. Texas A&M is going to play for a national championship this year thanks to Trev Alberts and Mike Elko. And Mike Elko,
think they'll get that far?
Yes. They'll be in the CFP. I think they'll win it. I think they'll win 2 games.
Yeah, it's fair to say. If you're in CFP, I agree with that. Yeah.
Right? Getting to the CFP is when you go to the CFP, you should pop champagne because anything can happen, but nothing is guaranteed. Ask Oregon that.
Seriously.
It's a monumental accomplishment to get into the college football playoff. Love every second of that. But just understand, nothing's guaranteed. I'm really disappointed in the Big 12 today. And you listen to this news with Lane Kiffin. And it just tells you everything you need to know. I probably should leave it there because I feel like I'm going too far with it.
I mean, I just think what I think the clear lesson, before we move on from it is, like if you look at I'm a big believer in looking at how these people word things. Like how do
Yeah.
how do you go about how do you talk about things? How do you like speak on things? And one of the things outside of the financial stewardship portion of that statement that Linda put out, one of the things that I thought really stood out to me was this second paragraph where she goes, "We recognize this decision will generate strong opinion.
Yes.
Let me be clear, Baylor expects excellence, accountability, and competitiveness at the highest level. We are not complacent and we are not settling for mediocrity." But the problem is that that's just factually incorrect. That is, there
Your
is
words do not align with your actions.
Yeah, and certainly your words do not align with the performance on the field. And what's really tough is that I don't know how long Dave makes it. I don't know if Dave, I think we shouldn't be surprised if Dave is there another 2 seasons, honestly. I just wouldn't be surprised. But
under Linda Livingstone's tutelage, I would assume that he would be.
yeah, so like we shouldn't be surprised, but what's crazy is that you're going to put out a statement like this, and your whole message here, in my opinion, just reading what she said, is that, hey, we're going to invest in the program. Hey, we're keeping Dave, we're going to invest in the program, which obviously means you're going to find a new athletic director. But then beyond that, again, in the financial stewardship paragraph where she goes, this approach allows us to invest wisely in the program's future rather than incur significant buyout costs. So that means that you're going to be active in the portal and you're going to be going out and getting talent, right, Linda? Right? Like you're going to be scratching checks to go get kids. Oh, no, I don't think that's actually going to happen. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to do nothing and you're going to save costs and you're going to suck on the football field. That's what you're going to do.
And I think, and obviously, listen, maybe Dave Aranda grows a full head of hair and actually, they drop into his groin. I mean, that could happen. I guess it hasn't yet. It's probably too much. But my point is, if you look at the 2026, God damn it. And I can't upload it because Jake has left so many photos of naked monkeys in our photo tray. I'm kidding. Look at Baylor's schedule here. This is Baylor's schedule for next year. I think this is a 4-win schedule. I was looking at it this morning after that came out. You're going to lose to Auburn because that game's in Atlanta and they're going to be significantly better. John Summerall's a dog. You'll beat Prairie View A&M. I think the SMU game is a toss-up. You'll lose in Tempe. You'll beat Colorado. You'll lose it to Texas Tech. You'll lose to TCU. I think you'll probably beat Iowa State at home. That's 3. You're going to lose at BYU. You're going to lose at Houston. You're going to probably lose at Kansas because that's a tough place to go and play. And then your final game is UCF. I think it's a 4-win season. And we'll see what order that stacks in and how all that plays out. But I wouldn't expect them to win 7, 8, 9 games next year at Baylor. I think you're asking him to do things he's not capable of.
Yep.
So,
and doesn't have the talent to do.
Let's get your comments in here. Miami better watch out. Well, it's interesting. What I think is interesting is I'm really curious if Mario Cristobal is a long-term fit at Miami. I'm really curious about that.
Not really at this rate.
Really curious. I don't know, but we'll see. Dave's not here. Cheech and Chong. Dave, no Dave, the gentleman. Okay. Your words do not align with your actions. Monty's quote that applies to many athletic directors and every politician. Truth.
Donald Trump, full display today.
Truth. I will scream if I hear that again.
Hear what again?
I swear, if I ever hear that announcer at New Mexico Bowl again say, and that's good for a New Mexico rail runner's first down.
Bro, are you high today? Like, what's going on, bro? Like, legitimately.
You working those Buc-ee's bath salts? What's going on over there?
Why are we talking about the New Mexico Bowl and its announcer?
I don't know. Most of the Big 12 schools are content with bowl games. Truth. See Oklahoma State fans. I think some school presidents prioritize the school and education aspect of it over the sports aspect of it. Both can be done at the same time, but I think some presidents don't. I think you're exactly right.
And to your point, Mike, to go a step further, I think there are presidents who tell you that they prioritize both, but they actually don't. And they mislead the public into thinking, oh yeah, we take it seriously. We expect excellence, and then they don't. They don't. They're just trying to make a margin on athletics.
Yeah, and if we're keeping it buck, they're ass, right?
Dude,
so
dude, bro.
We keeping a buck right now, we ass.
If we keeping it a buck, we keeping it 100. We keeping it a buck. Not we keeping it buck, keeping it a buck.
Right, but that's $1. That's not 100. So anyway, if we're keeping it a buck, we're ass, right?
I mean, you don't sit there and look at it. You flush it and move on.
You got anything to say? Quite frankly, fuck you.
Bro.
Mikkel, I want to know where all the LSU money comes from. Poor ass state oil money, corruption, crawfish.
The governor's office and his relationships.
Dude, they have bread. They have bread. TCU James. Well, TCU better win at least one of their last two, or we will end up at the New Mexico Bowl again. You notice he says
are you
we.
Gonna have, are you
you
gonna
notice
have,
he says we.
Dude, are you gonna have Sonny run some stairs if they do, or what's the deal?
James needs a banana. Okay. Miami's first road game tomorrow out of the state of Florida. Dude, Miami is a good football team. They're not elite. 8-2, 4-2 in the ACC, but they've had a softer schedule, right? I mean, their road games have been Florida State. Is that in Florida? Is Tallahassee in Florida, or is that in Mississippi?
Don't know. Couldn't tell you.
At SMU, at Vatech, at Pitt. They're not going to lose to Vatech.
Yeah.
They're not. Well, last year, TCU versus Louisiana Tech, I was there with my amazing wife last year.
So, okay. Dana.
Did you and Dana have a good time? Or
if you guys ever want to kick it, we'll flow.
$1.50. Well,
right.
if we're keeping it a buck, we're ass.
Right. Yeah.
We keeping a buck right now, we ass.
We need that drop more. I think we do.
Which one? The buck?
Yeah. You know.
We keeping a buck right now, we ass.
Poke traveling. I like it. Baylor fans need to be tired of digging themselves out of holes to get spit on by admin, dude. Truth. Lopes fan Gabe, James likes eating bananas for their shape. Jesus Christ.
Sucking a ding dong.
Gabe Ledley off the top rope.
I never sucked any ding dongs.
Damn, bro.
Wow.
Iraq.
Wow. Good to see you, Gabe. Hope little Lope is well. Hope you are well. Hope Mrs. Lope is well. I always appreciate when we see the long times. Like, Gabe's just a good dude. Gabe's got a beautiful family. His son is a great athlete, a little entrepreneur. Like, it's just.
Hey, Gabe, are we approaching 40 months as a member yet? How many months has it been now, bro?
Shut up, Jake.
It's got to be like 38 months.
Listen, you and I both know Maury Alvarez, the great Floridian, is the second longest tenured member of this comment section.
We don't take any shit.
Arizona, Utah, TCU, West Virginia, most of all, BYU need to win big. I would agree with that. And I think if you're a BYU fan, there's some.
Not even making a joke, being 100% real, Boyd. Did you see
we're
this?
Keeping it a buck?
Yeah, we're keeping it a buck right now. Did you see this, I guess, policy update? I don't even know what you would call it, by the church today? where they're allowing 18-year-old females to serve missions now. People were unamused by this today.
Very unamused by this.
Pissed off about this, dude. Any thoughts, Boyd? Because that I saw that making legitimate.
Is Boyd
waves.
LDS? But is Boyd LDS?
Yeah, I thought he was.
I don't know if Boyd's LDS, but I am a little surprised that the church is allowing 18-year-old women to go out and serve missions. That is, yeah, that's going to be rough. Big Blue Horses. I think USC can beat Oregon. You know, I spent a lot of time on that game last night because Jake and I had a huge fight about it, and Jake is stupid and doesn't know anything about nothing. And
say, quite frankly, fuck you.
I think Jake was actually right. I'm now leaning Oregon. And I say that because I was looking at the offensive line schemes that Dan Lanning employs running the football, and I should say Will Stein. I like Will Stein a lot. I think you guys know that. I did not respect his craft and his design of the offense enough. They use some really smart blocking schematics, and the way, and I'm curious if they stole this from BYU. They use a lot of that wide receiver crash to open up the edge for the running backs. And my biggest concern.
You mean, sorry, not to cut you off. You mean when the wide receiver comes from the left back towards the line to get a block?
Yeah, because what's happening now is defenses are so in tune to what motion is happening in the offense. Because you can see now that you only motion to uncover a defense. You want to know, hey, if I motion across, is somebody following that wide receiver? Because then it's man. Or are we going zone? And what defenses are doing now is they're following the man and still playing zone. Right? Like they're trying to flip some stuff. And BYU has become elite at using tight ends and running backs and wide receivers. And they use all kinds of disguise to seal an edge to allow, Bear to get left, or you're even seeing now BYU tight end crash into the B gap to create a cutback lane. Like it's really,
which is nasty work.
I think that BYU has gotten really smart, but the thing that I worry about for Oregon tomorrow, you guys, is they've got a lot of wide receiver issues in Eugene right now, and DeCorian Moore, I'm pretty sure, is not going to play in that game, which is a huge problem. But I love the way Oregon schemes the run, and I think USC is going to really struggle to stop the run against Oregon. And my single biggest question is, does USC get enough offensive possessions to push this game over 60 points?
Yeah.
That's what I don't know. And when I look at, I'm pretty sure, and I apologize, I did not look at it this morning. I'm pretty sure that DeCorian is still questionable, and they think he's going to be out. He is still doubtful, excuse me. Gary Bryant's questionable. Devon Jackson's questionable. Like they got some dudes.
They're going to have to run the ball, bro. There's no doubt that Oregon's going to have to run the ball to win this game. And and this is what we were talking about pre-show. Like, I don't think there's, you're not going to stop, a good offensive line from running it on you, but it can't be 150 plus. Like, it can't be 170, 180. It needs to be, 110, 120. You keep Oregon 110, 120 yards, 3.8 to 4.2 a carry, you're going to be in the game all day long, but if you allow them to, like you were just talking about, get out on the edge, if you allow them to,
but Jake, if we're keeping it a buck, I don't think they can win this game. Honestly, if DeCorian Moore and Gary Bryant don't play, I think it's going to be really tough for Oregon to score 30 points.
Yeah, I would agree.
I love Dante. I'm a huge believer in Dante Moore. They'll have to run for 250 yards to win this game
Yeah, they're going to have to do something that they haven't done all year, right? They're going to have to scheme something new. They're going to have to do something that they have not done, and that's where my biggest concern in this game is not what Oregon's doing offensively. They're Will Stein will have the best possible game plan for them, depending on who's available, which seems pretty clear at this point. My biggest concern is the secondary against Mayava. My biggest concern is, hey, how are you going to make it so that you don't get Fernando Mendoza again, right? Where he's shredding you, because he's more than capable of it. You're playing a Lincoln Riley-led offense, and that's what terrifies me. I think there is a scenario in this game where USC gets out to a 10-point lead, two-possession lead on Oregon, and Oregon has to run them down. And that's what scares me. Oregon can't afford to play that kind of game here because of the injuries. Oregon, if they want to win this game, has to play from ahead. You got to play with the lead, and you need to run the football effectively. And again, if you go back, and because this is what we were talking about yesterday, if you go back, you look at the Wisconsin game, hell, even the Iowa game, like, you were running it with purpose and effectiveness in those games, and you are going to have to do that again this week. But I'm not confident at all Oregon's winning this game. I think it's 50-50 at best.
I think it is 51-49 Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, you have to lean that way.
I think so. I think so. And the without DeCorian specifically, he's such a sensational player. He hurt his knee in practice. Dan Lanning made it seem like it wasn't a season-ending injury.
It's no big deal. It's no big deal.
Boyd Lake, and yes, I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. There you go. I think it is going to be really interesting to see how. I agree. It's a bit young, but so are 19-year-olds. Well,
yeah.
They already put the sister missionaries in the safest, nicest areas. When I served a mission, I was out when they lowered the age for the first time. Yeah. I hate the idea of 18-year-olds. I saw that today, and I was like, I don't love it. It is. I don't think people understand. I'm not a religious dude. I'm not a member of the church. I'm not by any stretch. But here's my feeling on the LDS church. I think Mormon folks take an inordinate amount of hate for just no reason at all. If you're LDS, you've heard about multiple wives, polygamy, magic underpants, all the craziness, right? And I think is some of that appropriate? Okay, different show, different conversation, whatever. But what cannot be argued is when you give up 2 years of your young prime life to go and evangelize for the church, and quite literally your only job as a missionary is to go out and knock on doors and talk to people about Jesus. It's your entire job.
Yeah.
The abuse, the violence, the oppression that those young people face. I cannot imagine putting an 18-year-old boy in Uganda or Los Angeles. It's not easy. But what I think is inevitable is bad things are going to happen because the world is a bad place.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens already. Like, it's just really, and I think the hard part is for young people now, it changes their relationship with humans. And I just think it's really difficult to ask an 18-year-old young lady to go knock on a door. And this goes for the world and the United States, and expect a good outcome. That's what is hard for me. I don't have any problem. Listen, if you understood how difficult it is to just put together the infrastructure of serving a mission, when you and your family make the decision to go out and serve a mission, do you know how much money you have to raise? Do you know how much heartache and hardship? Do you understand how difficult just the idea of spending 2 years with one person that you don't know? Do you know how many mission partners hate each other and fight and don't get along? And I mean, there's just so many dynamics. Then you put these two young people on a doorstep with a name tag that says Jesus on it, trying to talk to Willie and Karen about Jesus, and you're trying not to get shot or punched or physically assaulted or worse on more. No, I'm good. I mean,
it's tough, bro.
Yeah. It's not uncommon. I cannot tell you how
Greg,
many.
Are you still LDS at this time?
Are you still active in the church? I have no idea what the answer to that is.
I mean, if I just with how I view you now, I don't feel like you are, but I don't want to speak for you.
It's crazy to me. Because you're talking about kids going through adolescence. Like if you're an 18-year-old, do you know the insecurity that you feel meeting new people in this world?
Yeah.
And let alone if you have acne or if you're fat or you think your nose is too big, or because you know what else you don't have? You don't have the internet. You know what else you don't have? You're not talking to your family every day. Do you understand that when you're out serving the Lord, you are serving the Lord?
You and the ground beneath you.
Dude, it is so, I think it's terrifying. And I know there's a lot of people who talk about the reward of it. You're giving up 2 years of your teenage adolescence. And it's more than that, because it's probably 4 or 5 years, because you're fundraising and you're preparing, and you go to the Salt Lake airport, and I imagine a lot of people have seen this, and it's really not just Salt Lake, but you see it every day at Salt Lake. And you just see these huge crowds because these groups of missionaries are coming home and they haven't seen each other in years. And if you're in a developed part of the world, you get a video call, you get a phone call, but one of my old neighbors in Sandy, when his son went and served a mission, he did not see him or talk to him other than written letters for 9 months when he left. 9 months. Because he went, I want to say he went somewhere in like South America.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 months, you just don't see him. You don't talk to him. No phone, internet. They wrote letters to each other. And the son, as it turned out, this father was saying, this guy lived right across the street from me. He was telling me his son would get packets of letters because he didn't have access to mail every day. So they'd write a letter and it'd go to the mission president, who would just aggregate the mail, and the kid would get a delivery. Like, it's wild to me that we're living our lives like that. Yep. But that's what's required. That's what you're signing up for. Because you don't know where you're going. That's the other thing. You don't know. And then we can get back to sports. The mission thing is fascinating to me. I don't know why, but this is why I have so much respect for the difficulty of being a member of the LDS Church. It is not easy.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the simplest form, it puts you through enough struggle to make you a competent human being. It forces you. You don't have a choice.
But do you understand that you have no idea who you are? When you're 18, and we've all been there. When you're 18, you don't even know how to work your parts, dude. You don't know where to put that thing or how to put it there, right? Like, and you're just going to go out into the world and figure it all out. You're going to just, and
Bro.
it teaches you so much about what you don't know. And the hope is you come out of it a stronger, more evolved person who is humbled. And then you go on and you serve your community and okay, blah, blah, blah. Or you turn into a degenerate like Greg Hawkins. Anyway.
Help me understand this.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, but those who go on missions are the ones who become elders who... No. What? No.
James, how do you do it every time? How do you do this every time, bro? Can I just ask? Like, did you go on a mission and they gave you like you just spawned this skill? Like you were just injected with this skill in the behind?
James, is your mission putting Dana in the trunk every day? Is that where you humble yourself? What do you mean? But those who go on missions are the ones who become elders, who speak at Mormon churches later in life.
That's what I was told. I was asking for clarification.
Let me tell you something. Okay, so when you go on a mission, one of the things that happens is you go to this building. From what I understand, it's in downtown Salt Lake. You go to this building, they take you down this flight of stairs, right? And all of a sudden you turn around and there's nobody there, and then you walk in there and you get beamed up into the spaceship, and they strap on these fucking underpants to you, and then you just sit there and you drink non-caffeinated hot beverages. It's the weirdest thing. And then what they do is they download the microchips into your bloodstream, and then you go talk to the church and stuff because you're now a deacon and an elder. Somebody told me that. I heard that. And
bro.
And you're immediately, and Greg, you tell me if I'm wrong. Is it true when you serve a mission, you're immediately entered into the 14th layer of heaven with your fourth wife?
That process does take place, I believe, when they beam you up and down back onto this rock known as the Earth, as named by the white iguana Joseph Smith.
And then isn't it true that they mold your penis and put it on top of the church? That little gold thing that's on top of everybody's church, that's the deacon's penis, right?
Is that why it's so shiny, Monty?
That's what I was told. I heard that from somebody.
Macaque.
Bro. Dude. Like, come on.
You're casual.
I mean, I don't even know what to say. Well, hold on. My bad. I got this wrong. So, Monty, listen, I was told that if you go on a mission, then you become an elder. Now, don't ask me who my source is, because he is on the sideline of Oak State games, and it is pretty confidential information. But that's who I heard it from.
My friend in high school, he's a security guard outside of one of those temple buildings and stuff. And he heard them talking about it when they walked in. And so, you know,
Andy,
I mean, that's my source.
My friend.
That's my source. I got a tour of a temple before they closed it. They wouldn't give me a temple recommend.
Hey, and James, when you say you got a tour of the temple, is that a euphemism for other activities happening inside the building, or what all happened?
Well, I tried to get down that staircase because I wanted to go to Area 51-2, and they just wouldn't let me do it. It's,
Fat.
So, but I'm just curious. 7th layer of heaven and stuff.
Yeah, ask him for a friend, Monty.
And I really only went there because I wanted 4 more wives. Because the Walmart manager dumped me. But every time I hear that dial-up internet sound, it cracks me up. Jake is rocking
James,
the soundboard tonight.
Imagining bro getting beamed up to an alien spaceship for saying dumbass things in the comment section. It's awesome.
Quint says I had 2 calls a year, Mother's Day and Christmas. I mean, it's unbelievable. The sacrifice. I have always thought that many young men should serve the Army or other branches. It helps a young man broaden his experiences, grow up, and be more responsible. Dude, sometimes I wonder if we took every 18-year-old kid and dropped him into the middle of the Grand Canyon for a week, with a bottle of water. And
not Dasani, though, just so we're clear.
They would be dead because nobody drinks Dasani. If we drop them into the middle of the wilderness, how would that change your DNA?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it makes me a loving father and a decent human being.
No, it doesn't. The Provo Temple used to have a little cafe in the basement, and it was incredible. Okay.
Monty, listen. Dude, Buc-ee's is my first choice, but if I had a second choice, it'd be the little cafe in the basement of the temple. It's incredible. Their roller food is second to none.
Now, Monty. Hey, guys. So, I was thirsty one day, and I just happened to be in Provo. And I wandered into this guy's house, and his third wife was making dinner, and she's like, do you want some Spam and saltines? And I was like, who am I to say no? No. I'm going to hell if there is one, and thankfully there's not. Derek Roquette. We just left the BYU game. They're talented everywhere. You don't say. Wisconsin was embarrassed. Truth. Stadium guy James.
Guys.
True story. So yes, you mean yes, true, yes, comma, maybe just take off the no comma part. True story. When I married my first wife,
I personally believe.
I don't know that James has ever been married, so maybe you should start. I'm lying, but whatever. When I married the Walmart man, was the first wife, or is that the fourth wife who was the Walmart manager? I think the first wife worked at. Did she work at Circuit City, or
I don't know. I don't know if I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest.
It was the weekend when the temple in OKC opened, and we did get a free tour. Okay, guys. So I want you to know that I did everything I could do. I went in there, and you know that I hunt down pedophile churches. I went in there, and they have this room called a sealing room. Yeah, but I bet you do seal it in that room, don't you?
Well, why is it called the ceiling room when everyone's on the floor? I don't understand.
I don't get it, Monty.
Oh my God, just like that. Oh.
I'm a bad person. I want a free audit at Scientology. No, you don't. They said I had potential. I went to a free audit at the Scientology temple. They said I had potential, but I was too broke to pay for all the courses, so they told me to leave.
Well, why don't you go see, Linda at Baylor, and she can help you out?
Oh, look at that. Monkey Man only drinks Voss water.
Ah.
So do all the tourists just give you their Voss water then? I still mandatory military or other public services should be required to help pay for college. I don't disagree with that.
And it's very powerful.
I used to keep my bicycle in the basement of the Alamo. Okay. Caffeine is not a sin or bad. False information. Yes, correct. But
I get it.
We talked to our missionary son weekly. He was serving in the U.S. Depending on where they go, if the technology is available, their weekly is the standard. Oh, that's great. Yes, Toot. It was weird. My wife heard about it on the radio and said on our honeymoon, we should go check that out. It's not weird to tour a temple. How is it weird? There's a reason.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Do you understand the tens of millions of dollars they spend on these temples to build them? They spare no expense with materials. I'm not even joking. I toured the Daybreak Temple, the New Ogden Temple. Like, we've toured a lot of them when they open. They're beautiful pieces of architecture, but they open them when they're new to help with recruiting and membership. And then essentially they close them down, and you cannot go into that temple without what's called a temple recommend. So there you have it. How many wives have you married, James? You'd fit right in.
Guys. I mean, I've lost count at this point.
I would say so, but Monty's going to judge me, and I don't want to hear about it. all male missionaries are ordained elders as a priesthood office, which they hold throughout their lives. Okay. How many sound bites does Jake have on that board? Too many.
Yeah.
A lot.
The elders that speak in the general conference are called elder because of their role as special representatives and messengers of Jesus Christ, similar to missionaries. There you go. Frankly, the temples have gotten more boring lately. Cookie cutter designs. Bring back the unique cathedral designs.
Keeping a book right now, we ask.
Yeah, no. I think the Ogden Temple is the nicest. The marble in the Ogden Temple is... the Daybreak Temple is... The truth is, the LDS Church is the single greatest real estate agent I've ever seen because of where the temples are located. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is obscene. The stadium guy, James, a member of the show for only 30 months. My heart says TCU can win at Houston, but my head says otherwise. Houston's new coach is doing a fantastic job. Houston's going to win that game. I all kidding aside, I think I've talked about this. I love Sonny Dykes as a human. They need to move on.
Do you understand how much effort James has put into no longer being an Oak State fan? Notice how he never even talks about it. It's every comment now that's not about his multiple wives. Well, talk about how much you suck. Talk about. Who's the next Josh Ford, dude?
Jake, let's be honest about Oak State. If we're keeping it a buck, we're ass. I don't know what there is for me to say.
We keeping a book right now, we ass.
Dude.
Oh, James, you are. Oh my God.
Wow. Look who decided to show up.
Harry Austin.
Wow.
My guy. Good to see you.
We show up.
Good to see you, sir. Nice to know some things never change on the Monty Show. James is gold.
Bro hasn't tuned in 2 months, and he comes back for the first time, and James is still getting cooked.
Harry Austin is a legend on this show. So it is not surprising that the first comment in months out of Harry Austin is Oak State James, now TCU James, catching a stray.
Hey, look here, man.
And I love it. Mike Phillips, the LDS Church is indeed a real estate mogul. Yes, it is. They own 2% of the entire landmass of Florida at this point. They're the largest private landowner in the state. And it's if you've ever been to Utah, you're going to know exactly what it looks like. Mm-hmm. If you go to the top of Draper, if you drive up to the point of the mountain and get to the top of the mountain in Draper, and you just look across the Salt Lake Valley, and you see all the temple lights, and you look at where they are located, how? The Draper Temple, most notably, look at the Daybreak Temple on High Point. I own a home 2 blocks from there. It is a remarkable piece of property. How? I don't know.
Above my pay grade.
If you want to get rich, become a Mormon. You're not wrong. Some of the large organized religions churches are big into real estate. Scientology has a large amount of property in the Clearwater. I did not know that. You look at even like the LDS Temple in San Diego, which Jake and I have driven by 1,000,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. It is wild. There are more churches and temples here on the corners than convenience stores. You're not wrong.
Listen, if we're talking convenience stores, do not take Maverick for granted. I will never make that mistake again. Just telling you now. Don't take it for granted, bro.
Joey, who did you guys hire a football coach yet at Colorado State? I mean, that's a pretty good job. I would say Colorado State's a pretty good job. I don't know how the Pac thing's going to work out, but that's a pretty good job. Between LDS and McDonald's, it's real estate dynasty, dude.
The dynasty is not over.
No. Rob KOLV, hello. It's been a while since I watched the show. Did Monty and Jake move? In fact, we have. Jake is in Corvallis, Oregon, and I am in Pittsburgh, PA.
Pack everything up. We're out of here.
Mormons give 10% of their income to the church, and they have the best financial literacy I've ever seen. It is incredible. It is incredible. And, you know, if you just take a walk, if you take a walk here in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, it's amazing to see the real estate in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Well said.
Oak State is great. Oak State hockey, Oak State wrestling.
Yeah, I mean,
Oak
if you
State
ask Mike
golf.
Gundy, he's a hockey fan now, dude. It's incredible.
No CSU hire. Yeah, I think that's a good job. Mormon equal more money. They're incredible business people. Hey, dude. Growler. My fellow growlers. Dude, my dog today, bro, my dog's a pimp. So I actually live in Seattle, by the way.
That's interesting, man.
So here in Portland, I was walking my dog. I'm going to say, anyway, my dog stepped off of a curb today and took a deuce on I don't know if it was 2% or whole milk, but dropped a deuce on a milk container that was laying on the curb.
Did you pick up the milk container to get rid of the deuce?
Indeed, I did. And I threw it in the recycled garbage can that was on the corner. It was an incredible moment in time for my dog, who may not make it through this holiday.
Yes, you did.
Dude, you're that nervous about taking him on a plane.
I'm not nervous about taking the dog on a plane. I'm nervous that my wife is going to cram him into a piece of luggage made for dogs to get crammed into, and he's going to hate it. That's what I'm nervous about.
That's the problem when you're a dog. You're lower on the totem pole of life.
Dude, Monty's dog equals monkey man's monkey. Dude, my dog is incredible. That is 10% of the gross, not the net. BYU can afford a lot if they want to. You ain't wrong about that.
Yeah, imagine getting taxed to high heaven by the IRS as a single male in Utah, and then having to take another 10% off the top of the gross. No, I'm good. No, I'm good.
Yeah, you don't want to miss that tithing envelope. So, Jake, will you go and see Oregon State football games now that you live in Corvallis?
Yeah, that's stupid.
Don't forget, the LDS has a massive stock portfolio managed by Ensign. They rival the Vatican with money. Also, go Stanford. Ferd. Good to see you, Gumby.
Yeah, good to see you, bro.
Good to see you. All right, we got to get into some games because I got to go. Shut up. USC and Oregon. 12:30. CBS. 10.5 on a 60.5 point number. So you're expecting Oregon to blow out USC. I don't think that's happening. Now, I know I am never wrong about the outcomes of games unless it was last weekend where I missed all 4 of my predictions. This weekend was not a good.
That's out of the window.
The Vuitton wallet was empty. I think this is going to be a really close game. If you're putting ducats out, not that I would encourage that kind of thing.
And we don't do ducats. We just have positions. It's okay.
I would tell you, you have to take Oregon to win, USC to cover.
Mm-hmm.
I am leaning Oregon to win the football game because I love the way Oregon runs the ball. Now, my biggest caveat there is I am not convinced that Oregon will be able to throw the ball enough to break 27, which I think it's going to have to. And I am not confident enough that USC will get enough possessions in this game to score 30. So I think Oregon will have to score 27 to win the game. But, Jake, how do you see Oregon and USC playing out?
I see it as a under the 60.5, certainly. And USC will cover this number. I have no question about that. My biggest concern in this game, though, is going to be USC and that passing attack against Oregon's secondary. That, to me, is where this game will be decided. I would say that, looking at this game, looking at the numbers, trying to figure it out, I have this game somewhere in the realm of 35, maybe 31, 27, 35, mid 30s, mid 20s, something like that, to where, Oregon finds a way to control this game. And I think that there's probably an interception by Mayava in this game because it is on the road. It is at Autzen. So I think, if we're being generous, you've got a turnover from USC. Oregon scores on that. That gives them the extra 7 points. And then, yeah, from there, I think it comes down to USC's ability to stop Oregon running the football, because when Moore is out of the game at wide receiver, and you're having to lean on a little bit modified passing approach, I think that could potentially limit points. But overall, I just think that it's hard for me to see USC getting to a place where they're able to put up 30 at Autzen. That's what's hard for me. So I look at this and I say, okay, well, I think this is going to be a close game. I think the 10.5 points number is just ridiculous. That to me is incredibly disrespectful to USC. If I was making the number, if I was making the number, I'd be like anywhere between like 3 points, 4 points, somewhere in there. But to me, I see a 30 to 35 point performance out of Oregon here, and I see a 24 to 27 point performance for USC, and I would have Oregon winning. And I think I will say, if Dante Moore turns the football over in this game, and I don't care what form or fashion, if that's off the pass rush, if that's an interception, whatever, fumble, whatever, USC is right in this game. Oregon cannot afford to turn the football over in this game if they want to win.
Yeah, I think Whittington and Davison are the critical factors here. If they get anywhere near the 8.5 yards, I just don't. Granted, it was Minnesota, but the USC can't give up. Yeah, I don't even think 5 yards a carry and expect to win this game. I think that Lincoln Riley, one of the things that really worries me is that Lincoln Riley's boys don't travel well. Now, having said that, that usually is way far to the East Coast. This is up the coast to Oregon. It's never easy to go to Autzen and play. Let's just be very clear about that. But I think when I look at this game, I just think that Oregon's secondary is very good because they've had to been. They don't get after the quarterback. I think Will Stein I love what they're doing in their run game. I love the design of it. I love the way they build it. They're 8th nationally with 237 rushing yards a game. They rank 2nd nationally in yards per rush at 6.3. They rank 7th in avoiding negative plays. Oregon's only given up 35 tackles for loss on the entire season, which is incredible. I think that Oregon is, I can continue to give you numbers. They're 11th in total offense at 475.4. But I think that's when they're healthy. Obviously, Kenyon Sadiq now becomes an integral part of this offense, especially without DeCorian Moore and Gary Bryant. I think that Kenyon Sadiq has to play. And when you have a guy like Kenyon Sadiq that is a first-round pick, he's got to play, right? And I'm just really curious to see what Tosh Lapoy draws up for Oregon's defensive coordinator, to stop this SC offense, because you're just 18 sacks and 13 takeaways in 10 games. That's not good. And I think when you look at the fact that they don't get after the quarterback, but what they are is they're really disciplined, and I think that matters. And my question is, when you look at Oregon's defense, can they be physical enough in big moments to beat USC and keep USC off their spot? It'll decide the whole game. And I think when you look at the way that Oregon defends, I think that secondary is going to have to live up to the hype, because the other thing that worries me a little bit about Oregon's defense is they have not seen an offense like USC's. When you play, Montana State, Oak State, Northwestern, Oregon State, not even Penn State. Penn State is not nearly as lethal as this, and Penn State scored 24.
Indiana's the closest.
Indiana is the closest, and Indiana scored 30 points. And I think Mayaba and Mendoza really aren't that far apart, right? But Rutgers, Wisco, Iowa doesn't have an offense. Neither does Minnesota. This is the best offense that Oregon's seen. And I think
to that point, though, one of the things, I'm glad we're talking about this. You compare USC to Indiana. One of the key differences that I think stylistically will show up in this game is USC's defense is not as physical, in my opinion, as Indiana's. Indiana's hallmark is that they're physical and that they want to beat you at the point of attack. And so my question will be for USC, are they good enough at the point of attack to keep Oregon honest in the run game? Because Indiana was able to do that and do it regularly. And we saw what they did because of it. We saw how they held Oregon down. And that's my big concern for USC in this game, is that, yes, you're going to score. Absolutely, you're going to score in this game. But I don't think that you're going to be able to replicate what Indiana did to Oregon, because your defense isn't as physical as Indiana's and your defense isn't as disciplined as Indiana's, in my opinion. And that's what I think is interesting. How far behind Indiana's defense is USC's, both in discipline, but also in physicality. That, to me, if you're USC, that's where you can get major gains on Oregon.
I also think one of the things that I can't get away from, I hate that USC makes big mistakes in big moments. And if we're being honest, should they have beaten Notre Dame?
Yes.
Did they?
No.
Should they have beat that loss at Illinois?
Unacceptable.
Should they have beaten Illinois?
I mean, almost certainly, bro.
Were they in position to beat Illinois? And what happened? Bad mistakes and bad moments against a team like, okay, Illinois, Notre Dame is a big, physical, fast defense. You can't make mistakes and expect to win those games. And what did Notre Dame do? Notre Dame ran the football for like 9,000 yards. What do you think Oregon's going to do?
Yeah.
They're going to run the football for like 9,000 yards. I think this is...
How much do you think they get? You think they get more than 150?
I think they get way more than 150, because I see a lot of Notre Dame's run scheme at Oregon. And I will remind you, my guy went for 228 and a touchdown. And Notre Dame ran for 306 in totality. Jeremiah Love averaged 9.5 yards a carry.
306, bro.
He ran for 228 yards. He averaged 9.5 yards a carry
on 24 carries. Bro, this USC defense cannot, I don't think, hold up against Oregon's. But the other thing that you got to remember is CJ Carr was awful in that USC game.
Certainly wouldn't expect that out of Dante.
31-27, Oregon wins the game.
Man, I think it's wider than that if they run for that amount of yards, dude. That's what terrifies me.
I mean, it certainly could be, Jake. It certainly could be.
Because I'm with you. Oregon, I think Oregon wins this game. They find a way. But man, if it's 220, 250, they may cover this number. That you can't let them run for that much, because if you let them run for that much at Autzen, you are in deep trouble in this game. Like, I don't know how you overcome that. I didn't think you would say that much. I in my head, looking at this game, I was like, hey, 150 is your over-under line for yards for Oregon on the ground. Like, you got to keep them under 150. You're going to win this game if you're SC. Do I think they'll do that? No. I think my benchmark.
I think Oregon runs for 200 yards. And I think the problem is, I think at some point USC will run out of time.
Yeah.
You will not have enough possessions. My guess is I think USC wins this. If they play mistake-free football, 0 turnovers, USC wins the game. I just think as much as I hate Oregon's inability to pressure the quarterback and get in the backfield, I love the way their secondary plays. And yeah, fight on natties, not to make excuses, but the fact of the matter is the majority of our starters had food poisoning, but you played well for long stretches of that game.
Yeah. I don't think that had anything to do with it.
And then you make stupid mistakes. I think and the only reason I think you have some credence is because I saw a lot of mental mistakes at Illinois. You just got your ass blown up at Notre Dame. You had CJ Carr in a place where he just did not look comfortable, and you missed. How many tackles did you guys miss after first contact? Because you're not going to tackle most running backs on first contact. Not at the higher levels of college football.
Yeah.
Oregon's really good. I think they're 14th in college football at yards before contact in their running backs. I want to say their yards before contact is like 3 point something. That second tackle has to be solid. And USC doesn't have that. They don't have that. They don't have that's what worries me. You don't have the horses on defense to consistently flow to the tackle. That's what worries me about SC here. What are you laughing about?
James's comment, second from the bottom.
I'm way up. Can we please not talk about having your ass blown up today? Last week was not good for me. Okay, so you got to make a decision here. Are you claimed you volunteered to get rectally violated, and now it's you don't want to talk about blowing up dudes' asses.
Blown up, bro. What am I supposed to do with that, dude? Am I supposed to take it easy on you, or am I supposed to play a bunch of drops?
Boy, did I, dude, I took the Browns to the Super Bowl today in a way that brought me great joy and admiration for myself.
You take you a deuce. You don't sit there and look at it. You flush it and move on.
Yeah, if we're keeping it a buck, we're not ass. I'm telling you that right now.
Keeping a buck right now, we ass.
No, we're not. And it was, Jeremiah Champion. That's either really kinky or really gross. Let's go with gross. Thank you. No, you can make fun of me. I am having to limit how much caffeine I drink. This was all my fault.
Dude,
James,
so your ass is literally blown up right now. Is that what you're saying?
He's saying his butthole is volatile.
Yeah, we're in volatile times. Is that what you're saying, dude? Is that what?
He is a sick puppy.
Yeah, I mean, is that what we're talking about here? Or?
James, I as I drink my caffeinated beverage, bro, you know what I had for the first time in a long time today? What is this? 15 months after signing a 4-year, $120 million extension, Brandon Ayuk and the 49ers are headed towards separation.
Bro.
They're going to release him. Wow.
You should have released his ass last year, dude. Everyone told you, and you didn't want to listen.
They should have never signed him. Anyway,
Idiots.
I had a bucked up Miami today. Dude, it is so good. It is so good. Oh, Bucked Up Miami is where it's at. Hey, by the way, get to buckedup.com. Use the promo code Monty. Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty.
Get to buckedup.com. 20% off at checkout when you use promo code Monty. Man, it is. Don't try to change the subject. Don't try to change. James Bowles are angry. You're the one that implanted a butt buzzer, not us. I am feeling better today. Life is like football. You go in at halftime, make adjustments. Bro, you're talking about going inside your butthole. Don't make.
Hi, this is James. Welcome back.
Look, James Franklin, never mind. And then get back out there. I don't want to know how many times you have adjusted the butt buzzer sitting in the rectory. Frick, you like Ayuk? Niners need targets. Dude, see you later, Ayuk. Yeah, I think you have to get rid of him.
Yeah.
He's
a cancer, dude.
Toot pants. Attaboy, James. Butt slap.
I'm a fucking unit.
This show never ceases to amaze me. BYU at Cincinnati in the last 10 minutes of Jake's time on this show, because he has no ability to spend time with any of us because, I have to go. I'm important. What just your initial thoughts on this game, Jake? Like,
they're going to blow out Cincinnati.
You think so?
Yeah, they'll beat them by 2 possessions, in my opinion.
Was Cincinnati built on a house of cards? Was Cincinnati, was that an apparition? Was that, like, what was that?
Well, here, let me answer the question for you, because their schedule tells the story, right? Their schedule tells the story. Lost to Nebraska, 0-1. Go on a run here where everyone thought you were the best thing since sliced bread. No one wanted to admit what was really going on, right? Bowling Green, Northwestern State, Kansas, Iowa State, UCF, Oklahoma State, and Baylor. Now, everyone said, they beat Iowa State. Instant credibility. Even though Iowa State played terrible in that game, and here, the word of the day, looked like ass in that game. That was one of the worst games they played of their season. They were not playing up to their ability. And I said that week. Go back and listen. So this schedule tells you, hey, you didn't play anybody, dude. And the one team you did play that should have beat you didn't, because they played like ass that day. So call it what you want. The fact is they're just an average team. They don't suck. They're not terrible. They're certainly not one of the worst teams in the league, but they're not some heavy hitter in the Big 12, dude. They're okay.
They're 7-3.
Yeah, all right.
And Satterfield's kept his job. It's going to come down to running the football. That's what this is going to come down to. But I also think Bear Bachmeier has to continue to throw the ball well. And I think when you look at where BYU has struggled, you obviously you struggle against Texas Tech. Cincinnati ain't Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
You struggled for a time against Iowa State, but you handled that in the weather.
Mm-hmm.
And Bears' worst game of the year, save Texas Tech, was Arizona, but they just willed themselves to a win. I don't think Cincinnati is nearly if we're keeping it a buck, they're not ass. But they're better than you give them credit for. But here's the thing. If UCF is going to run all over you, what is BYU going to do to you? And I think this is all going to come down to how, and I know I say this every week, and you guys all get yourself tweaked over it. How does Bear Bachmeier play in this game? He needs to throw the football. He needs to throw the football. It's as simple as that. If Bear Bachmeier throws the ball well and does not turn it over, BYU is going to win this game by 2.5 scores.
Mm-hmm.
If Bear doesn't have a good throwing day, this is going to be a 30-27, 34-31 kind of game. Because Cincinnati can actually score. Cincinnati can play football. Let's not forget that you're looking at a Brendan Sorsby who's got 2,218 yards and 22 touchdowns on the season. And when you start looking at the fact that he's somebody who does not complete passes at a high percentage in any way, shape, or form, I think he is flat 60%. BYU's going to have opportunities defensively. That's ultimately what will bury Cincinnati. Is if they turn the ball over and BYU's secondary continues to make plays they've made all season, they're going to win this game by 17 points. I think that's probably what happens, because I am a believer that I saw a different Bear Bachmeier last week. I've got BYU winning this game 34-17.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I think that if you look at their last two games, Utah beat them at Utah 45-14. Arizona beat them at their place 30-24. He gave up 30 at home. Not a good look. And now BYU's coming in playing some of their best football. And yeah, I think you're probably looking at 35 points for BYU. And I think that they're going to do that in 3.5 quarters, and there will be garbage time in this game.
So many of you are taking Cincinnati in the points.
Okay.
I don't believe it, and I've been wrong about games in the past, but I don't think Cincinnati will be in position to win this game in the second half. BYU has been an elite halftime adjustment. A team saved Texas Tech. And I think Bear is a different quarterback after the beatdown he took at Texas Tech. 34-17 BYU.
Agreed.
I think that's where I'm going.
Facts.
I think that's what I want. So, comment section, what say you? Let's wrap this up. James and Jamie and James have things to see and people to do. Jake and James. Okay. BYU wins by 14 plus games. Okay. I like that.
Okay.
I'll take Cincinnati in the points. Cincy is on the verge of being a top Big 12 school. Could be. Well, I hope everyone has an awesome holiday. Go Cincy. See, it doesn't work that way.
Dude, you're not a BYU fan. What are you doing? You're pulling a BDM right now, dude.
What are you doing?
Come on.
What are you doing? Joey Harper, Missouri and Oklahoma got more interesting with Perbula coming back. Yeah, I think Missouri is going to give them all they can handle. Love that game. Love that game. James will be dipping cougar tails in watery Skyline chili. Enjoy your Thanksgiving break. You too. The Monty Show, as always, presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. Please be careful on the roads. Jake is driving from Eugene, Oregon to Los Angeles, California, not once but twice. I'll be on an aeroplane with my dog packed into a bag.
A big.
Wish me luck. Big. You guys, we are thankful for you. Every one of you who supports this show, who watches this show. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. We'll have tons of content while we're on break. Might even get a live stream on Twitter. You never know. Jake's going to be playing, Fort Field and stuff. Have a great Thanksgiving. Love every one of you professionally. Until next Monday, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.